So some basic truths, the linear functions y equals x, always solve for y first, and that allows you to graph. It always helps you find the slope, rate of change, and the y-intercept. And then when you find the slope or rate of change, you can always set t-chart and subtract. That always works to find those two things. Parallel lines, the sign for parallels, two L's together, same slope. Perpendicular lines, looks like an L, and that's when you have the opposite reciprocal. Okay, so those are basic things you need to remember. Number one, so I want to find a line that's parallel to the equation. So 6x minus 3y equals 12. Always write your equation first. When it says parallel, that means same slope. So the very first thing, to find the slope, I need to solve for y. So move 6x to the other side, negative 6x, and you have to divide by negative 3. So divide everything by negative 3. So y equals negative 4 plus 2x. Now, my slope is 2, positive 2. So look at your choices. That takes out b, and that takes out c. Now, the other thing is, it says I want a y-intercept of negative 1. This is a y-intercept of positive 1. This is a y-intercept of negative 1, so it has to be d. Number 2, I want one that passes through negative 15 and 2. So you got your x and y. Perpendicular, remember, means that you want the opposite reciprocal. Okay? So the slope has to be the opposite reciprocal. So let's look at this equation. So you got 3x plus 5y equals 15. Always write it down first to make it bigger. Minus 3x moves to the other side, and you have to divide everything by 5. Now when I divide that by 5, y equals 3 minus 3/5 x. So here is my slope. I need to take the opposite, so opposite of negative is a positive, then take the reciprocal, 5/3. So positive 5/3, that takes out a, takes out b. Oh, there it is on c, and it takes out d. So my answer is c. Now what you can do is you can graph that one, and you can graph this equation, and you can make sure that they make L's, that they would make an L, and then you want to check the table to make sure it has negative 15 too. Number 3, 6 packs of Coke. So when you go to the store and you get a pack, there's going to be 6 Cokes in it. Okay, so a 6-pack of Coke is on sale for $5. Okay, but there's a store limit of 4 packs. So I get another pack, and that's also $5. And I get another pack, which is $5. And then I get one more pack for $5. But the limit is 4. So then you have to stop. You can't get any more, all right? So you're having everybody over for the football game. You can only get 4 packs, and that's it. So the function c of x gives the cost c for x 6-packs. So this right here, x is going to be my packs. Now, a lot of students get confused because they want to put the 6 in there. Don't put the 6 in there. And then the c is your cost. That's your y, okay? So 1 pack is $5, okay? 2 packs, 5 and 5 is 10. 3 packs, 1, 2, 3, 3 packs is 15. And then 4 packs, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 packs is 20, okay? So the question is, which one describes the range? Range is your y, so that's 5, 10, 15, 20, so your answer would be C. Number 4, I want to find the y-intercept for a line with a slope of negative 6 that passes through the point. Remember, you always have x and y. So use your point slope form. That is the wrong thing. I don't want to use x, I want to use y. So y minus negative 2 equals, and then use your slope, negative 6, parentheses, x minus 3. 2 negatives make a positive. So now I'm going to distribute. So y plus 2 equals negative 6x, and a negative times a negative, okay? So negative times a negative is a positive 18. And then the opposite of a plus 2 is a minus 2. So y equals negative 6x plus 16. And the question says, what is the y-intercept? The y-intercept does not have the variable. So my answer would be 16. Number 5. I want a line that passes through 3, -5 and parallel. Remember, parallel means same slope. So look at your equation. So you've got 2x minus y equals 8. Very first thing I have to solve that. Solve for y. So minus 2x. And then this is a negative y. So that means I have to divide everything by -1. So y equals -8 plus 2x. So my slope is a positive 2. And I want the same slope. So I want to also use a 2. So F has a 2 and H has a 2. So that means G and J are gone. Now I have to use point 3, -5. So y minus -5 equals 2 parentheses x minus 3. So y plus 5 equals 2x minus 6. The opposite of plus 5 is minus 5, so y equals 2x minus 11, which is h. On number 1, you have to describe the graphs. You have to tell me if they're parallel, if they're perpendicular, or if they're neither. Okay? So make sure you can verify it. On the first one, these cross, so either it's going to be perpendicular or neither. So I'm going to look at, it goes up 3 over 1. So positive 3 over 1. And then the second one, the red one, this one is up 1 over 3. Okay, so 1, 3, but it's decreasing. Decreasing is negative. Now, look, one is positive, one is negative, so they're opposites. And then 3, 1, 1, 3, they're reciprocals. So if they are opposite reciprocals, they are perpendicular. Okay? When they are both those things, opposites and reciprocals, they are perpendicular. On the second one, they also cross, so it's either perpendicular or neither. But if I look at this one, it's up 3 over 1. So up 3 over 1, which is positive because it's increasing. And the red one, up 1 over 3. Up 1 over 3, but it's increasing, so it's also positive. Well, they're reciprocals, but they're the same. So that would be neither, okay? And the reason that they're neither is because they are just reciprocals. To be perpendicular, they have to be opposite and reciprocal. They have to be both of those things. And the last one, on the blue one, up 3 over 1. So that's up 3 over 1, positive because it's increasing. And the red one, up 3 over 1. So they are exactly the same. So if they are the same slope, then they are parallel. Okay, so definitely parallel. Number 7, find a line that is parallel to the y-axis. Now, the y-axis is the one going down the center. That's your y-axis. So parallel means I don't want it to touch. -6, 4, -6, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I have 2 ways I can draw my line. I can either draw it this way, but if I do that, that will make an L. So I don't want it to do that. If I do it this way, yes, those are parallel. So it goes through, this is the x-axis. So x equals, and this is -6. Okay, there's your -6, so it's C. Find a line that is parallel to the x-axis. Here's my x-axis, and passes through -6, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, -6, 4. I want it to be parallel. That means it doesn't touch. So this way, that is parallel. Yes, because if I do it this way, that's not parallel. That would intersect it. So the first one is correct. It goes through, that is the y-axis. So y equals 4. So it's G. Number 9, what is the y-intercept? So anytime you have a table and you want to find the y-intercept, you got to do point slope formula. So find your slope first. For 4 minus 2 is 2. -13 minus -5 is -8. Swing your 2 over and reduce it. So that's -4. That is your slope. Now you pick a point, and it doesn't matter which point you use. You can use any one that you want to. I am just going to go ahead and use this 2, -5, but it doesn't matter which one you use. So y minus negative 5 equals negative 4 parentheses x minus 2. Remember, two negatives make a positive. So now I'm going to distribute y plus 5 equals negative 4x, and a negative 4 times a negative 2 is a positive 8. Swing the 5 over, and that becomes a negative 5, so y equals negative 4x plus 3. So I wanted the y-intercept. The y-intercept is the one that does not have a number, okay? So the 3 goes in the y spot. So put 3 in the y spot. Since it's an intercept, the other number is a 0. So 0, 3, which is f. Number 10, part of the graph of the line f of x shown, what is the x-intercept? So you can take a ruler, take your ID, and keep drawing. Now, when I draw that, see this is 0, and this is a 1. So it goes right in between there. So it's not 0, it's not 1, it's definitely not negative 1. 2/5, if you were to change that to a decimal, that's 40 cents. And that looks like, halfway, half of a dollar is 50 cents. That's close to 50 cents. So that would be your answer, D. Number 11, what is the slope of the line defined by the equation? So remember, anytime you have an equation and you want to find slope, all you have to do is solve for y. So move over your 6x and then divide by 3. So y equals 6 minus 2x. And your slope is a negative 2. So it's A. The graph shows the distance of a certain motorbike can travel at a constant speed with respect to time. Which of the following best describes the meaning of the slope? Anytime you see slope, you want per, each, every, any of those things, or even rate. Those are the things that you want to look for. So you can set up your T-chart. Remember that the x is always the first column, which is, in this case, is hours. And the y is always the second column, which in this case is miles. Okay, my first point, it's easiest to use, is 0, 0. Next point, where it intersects, looks like it would be 1/2 goes with 5. So 1/2, and it goes with 5. So now we're going to subtract. 1/2 minus 0 is a half. 5 minus 0 is 5. Swing that over. Now, guys, look at the 5 goes with miles. So that goes on top. 5 miles for every half. This is hours. So it's miles per hour. Okay, this says total distance. No. Initial. Initial is your y-intercept. So that's no. Miles per hour, that looks promising. The hours per, no, hours is not first. Miles is first, the y, so it's C. All right, number 13, your car is having issues. A mechanic charges $75 for parts, so you have to pay $75 no matter what. And so you also have to pay, so you've got to pay for the parts, and you have to pay for the labor. Well, the labor is 30 per hour. Remember, per is the times. So 30 times H, okay? It takes longer than more manpower than to repair the car than thought. So the hourly rate triples. The hourly rate, that's the hour, that's this rate, that's 30. So 30 is going to triple. What does triple mean? Triple means times 3. So you're going to say 30 times 3, which is 90. So what is the new slope? The new slope is 90. All right, number 14, last one. Your car's having issues. A mechanic charges $75 for parts, again 75, and so plus 30 per hour, so 30 times H for labor. The parts cost more than originally thought. What is a new y-intercept of this function if the initial cost is 120? Now, when it says initial, that's referring to the one that does not have a variable. So that's going to change to 120 plus 30h. So what is the question says, what's the new y-intercept? Be 120. And 120 is your answer.